Hey, what is going on guys? Welcome everyone back to another Black Ops 4 video. Hopefully you're all enjoying your day. In today's video, it's going to be a bit of a banger because we're going to be looking at all the brand new information we have around the Black Ops 4 game mode Blackout. And to be honest, all the information so far is actually getting me really hyped for this game mode. I wasn't that hyped for it because I wasn't too sure if it was going to be bad or good. But looking at some of these gameplay screenshots, looking at kind of the graphics of how everything's going to be laid out, and looking at all these features, it is actually looking like an amazing standalone game if they were to create it as a standalone game like PUBG or something. But obviously there's going to be multiplayer and stuff like that incorporated into it, which is always a great thing. So starting off with the first gameplay screenshot, as you can see, this is a picture of the Nuketown Island. As you can see, it's Nuketown in ruins. And there's a few interesting points to look at. Number one, as you can see some woods in the background down there. You can see the ocean behind some of the burnt out houses. And overall, it just looks like Nuketown is a wreck. And you can just tell how big the map is because past the ocean, it seems to be connected to this other bit of the map as well. And so far, it's looking pretty big. Now, if you have played Nuketown, which I'm guessing most of you have, you know, it does take a few seconds, maybe like 10, 11, 12 seconds to walk from one side of Nuketown to the other side of Nuketown. Now, just imagine walking out into the ocean to the other bit of the island. It would take forever, which is kind of telling me that this map is definitely going to be massive. So here's another picture that someone posted on Reddit, and as you can see, it's more or less comparing Black Ops 1 to the Black Ops 4 Blackout game mode in terms of the look and design. And as you can see, it does look a bit different. Of course it should be, but overall it does look quite nice. So not only are we going to be looking at gameplay screenshots of Nuketown, we have some more to show you. So as you can see on the screen right now, this is one portion of it. These are more or less variety of locations that you can find in the Blackout Black Ops 4 game mode. As you can see, the first picture we have here is of like a farm kind of area. There's some silos around the place, there's some crops, and overall it doesn't look too bad. It kind of reminds me of like Far Cry 4 and stuff like that. And if we head over to the next screenshot, this screenshot right here is confirming that there are going to be airdrops like Fortnite. When a random crate falls down with a parachute on it, you can get some good weapons and stuff like that. I'm going to assume it's the same thing because as you can see in the picture, you can see a crate with a parachute flowing down, and you can actually see in the picture as well woods in front of you running, which is also telling me that of course you can get unlockable characters and stuff like that in the game, which is always a great thing. Heading over into the next screenshot we're going to be looking at, this is actually of Turbine. So if you remember the map Turbine from Black Ops 2, this is what it finally looks like within Blackout, and my goodness, does the graphics look insane. Obviously these pictures are taken from an article, so the quality isn't the best and the actual pictures on the article aren't the best, but when we get the game we're gonna have to see what the graphics look like. But judging by the pictures so far, it seems to be quite detailed. There's rocks everywhere, there's little shrubberies of plants and stuff like that, and overall it just looks great, which is always a great thing. So heading over to the next picture, we have one here. This is kind of like a farm area, and we have a kind of battle going on. So there's people on top of this. I don't know if that's really a silo thing, but there's people on there shooting grenade launchers. There's a helicopter, and if you look at the bottom of this character, there seems to be a little kind of like paint job. So maybe you can put paint jobs and stuff on your own character. I'm not sure, but that's kind of what it seems like to me. Obviously, it could have been something else, but I'm not too sure at this stage and with the information I have. Heading over to the fifth picture we're going to be looking at is this. I reckon this is the sickest picture out of them all. They are in a helicopter shooting at people kind of near like a lighthouse area, and there's another helicopter chasing them. There are people on boats underneath them as well, and it just looks like utter chaos, which is absolutely amazing. Just what I want to see in the Blackout game. It looks like it's going to be fast paced and there's going to be a lot of action as well. And as you can see with the next picture, this is just some more soldiers looking over the Turbine area map within the Blackout game mode. And in the next picture, the last one we're going to be looking at in the gallery, once again, is kind of that farm estate kind of feel that they got within this portion of Blackout. And as you can see, it's a helicopter chasing another helicopter. There's some blown up vans down below. And overall, the atmosphere within the game does look insane. So now moving over, we're going to be looking at some of the actual information within the game that you guys want to know. I'm going to be talking about how many people are going to be in Blackout, what type of weapons we're going to be getting, all that kind of stuff. So in Charlie Intel, what has happened was Vonderhaar was talking to Game Informer about the whole Blackout game mode. All these pictures of the gameplay were shown, as you can see. And he also talked about what stuff is going to be within Blackout. So starting off, we're going to be looking at the weapons, equipment, perks, and stuff like that. So starting off, there's going to be 3 tiers of health and armor. There's going to be 8 primary ammunition types. There's going to be 12 equipment items, 17 consumable perks, 17 weapon attachments, 24 different weapons, and overall there's going to be 125 items within the game, which is insane. So as you can see, there's going to be different health and armor and stuff like that. And from what I've been reading so far, apparently the base health is going to be around 150. So imagine killing someone in Call of Duty, but adding in maybe another extra 4 or 5, 6 seconds. That's how long it's going to take to kill someone, it seems to me, based on all the information we have. But obviously, depending on the tier of your weapon, the tier of the armor that the other person has, all of this can be increased and decreased and stuff like that. So moving over to the next bit we're going to be looking at, as you can see on the screen right now, this is all the breakdown of all the information within Blackout. There's a ton of stuff to go through. I'm going to be going through it in this video. I'm just going to kind of skip over a few things that aren't important, but I'll get the main stuff down. So starting off, the Blackout player count will actually be 80, and David Vonderhaar said that it can be increased when the game does come out, and further down the line it can actually go up to around 115 players. Apparently they're testing out 115 players right now, but from what I can make out of it, it's 80 players at the moment, and it'll be increased soon. So they're also testing out split screen. So split screen users, who doesn't love to play split screen with their friends, looks like they're testing it. And David Vonderhaar did say in an article that it could be feasible, and it is something that his game design studio was testing out. So it looks like that's going to be insane. It also says that it's not a simulation. Apparently Blackout may take place in Northern California. It says Treyarch is not ruling out adding characters from other Call of Duty games, but their current plans include Treyarch-based characters. So that's interesting. Maybe they could include Ghost from COD Ghost and stuff like that, but apparently they're not ruling it out, but I feel like that'd kind of be something that you'd pay a bit more money to get. Apparently Blackout will have limited time events to use / unlock certain content. So I'm not sure if this means that there's something going to be happening on like a Halloween special where you get to use a special weapon. I'm not too sure. He said that there are a few types of armors. There's no plans for cosmetic based loot in matches, which is very interesting. So it doesn't look like there's going to be any supply drops or anything like that anytime soon based on the information. It says weapons do not have a rarity variation in Blackout. Vahn states in the interview that it makes the rest of the game confusing. So it looks like it's just going to be normal weapons all the way through, but it seems like there's going to be like gold weapon, like a purple weapon. Obviously purple might be the best and gold might be the worst. It might be something like that. It says that dead players will drop their stashes, which you can loot. If you pick up a weapon that is quest related, you can take over the quest. So maybe if you complete the quest, you get some extra armor, weapons, or something like that. It says zombies spawn at least 4 locations at specific zombie based locations. And he said, look for the ray of light, just like the mystery box. So it looks like they're going to be zombies in the game. I don't know exactly what part they're going to be playing. It says it's possible circle can close on a pack of zombies. So it looks like you're going to be fighting zombies a little bit within the map as well. So as the circle gets smaller, you may have to fight with zombies with other players, which is interesting. He said the circle will be randomly directed in games. They don't want it closing outside of the map or in water places too often. It says Blackout indirectly affects other game modes. It says helicopters spawn at helipad or similar locations. Apparently you can pick up to 10 to 20 loot items onto the cargo vehicle. If you try to go over the limit, the loot will just drop off. So it seems to me you can put a lot of stuff in the vehicle, which is very interesting. So it looks like you can have a whole party time with your friends. It says players are allowed to hold on to 2 primary weapons, which is a good feature. It says Blackout features a victory quote when you win, but specifics not revealed. They're probably going to add in some dancing features probably. It says zombies is the only AI, artificial intelligence. It says there is no third person at all. It's all first person shooters, and put them on the internet according to Vonderhaar. It says the point of the beta is to ensure game tuning, item tuning, progression, and everything is going back to Treyarch. It says Vahn won't comment on Blackout going standalone. He says he doesn't make the business decision. And apparently Game Informer asked him if he can camp in a tub, and Vahn says that won't work and you won't win like that. So it looks like camping may be ruled out of Blackout, which is interesting. Apparently players can find Ruin's grappling hook, and any character can use the hook. You don't have to be Ruin to use it, which is interesting. There's going to be an icon above your character. There is going to be fall damage. Horns on vehicles can be honked. I guess that's something that we should be expecting anyway. It says there's no other weather than the daylight setting. So it seems like it's just going to be day and light, and there may not be any other weather, but that could be updated. Who knows? It says firing range in Nuketown Island mentioned so far. Nuketown Island does have mannequins, which is interesting. I didn't see it in the picture before. It says the little bird is a small helicopter in Blackout, which is what we saw in those images where the helicopter was chasing the other helicopter. It says Blackout will have emotes. Treyarch wants it in at launch, so it looks like we don't get to use it within the beta. It says there is a melee weapon in Blackout that has to do with zombies. When asked about the zombies lore, Vahn says it's got something to do with Nova gas symbology and something to do with the circle outside. I got no idea what that means. It says Raven Software working with Treyarch on Black Ops 4. Vahn says Sledgehammer Games take on Prop Hunt. So who knows, maybe Prop Hunt coming back to Black Ops multiplayer. It says there's no headquarters social space in Black Ops 4, just like World War II. There's going to be 5 vehicles in Blackout, which is quite interesting. And Vahn said he wanted a wingsuit animation during Black Ops 4, but instead it's going to be a parachute, which is a little bit disappointing, but I can still cope with that, I suppose. It says there's going to be no voice line / dialogue between characters in Black Ops 4. There's going to be at least one Mason in Blackout, which is very interesting. There's going to be no cross-platform play between PS4, Xbox One, and PC, which is also interesting. It says there's 20 characters to choose from the Blackout at launch, possibly 22 to all 20 characters should be in the beta, which is very interesting. So it looks like there's a huge variety for a lot of people to test out. And it says there's some introduction to the characters, but it's going to be quite small. He said there could be relationships between specialists, and he said it's difficult to run 60 FPS at Blackout size, but 60 FPS is a consistent target. And he says there is no way going to be a 30 FPS lock. So it looks like it's going to be running on 60 FPS consistently throughout the PS4. He said the circle may be made out of Nova gas, and he said being caught outside is bad news. And it said free run is not in Blackout, but there are references to it. So overall, that is the Blackout information. There's a ton of information we gathered out within that. I'll be sure to do a video tomorrow going even further and in depth if I have any more leaks regarding Blackout. Overall, most of my questions within Blackout has been answered. I'm pretty excited to see what's going to be happening. Interestingly, out of all of this, a few things I will sum up is basically 80 players. We were expecting 100, but looks like 115 could happen in the future. But at the moment, it's just 80 of now, which is very good news. At least it wasn't the rumored 60 before. It seems like they have everything sorted out in the map, and I can't just wait. So let me know, guys, what do you think about this information regarding Blackout? I think it sounds pretty good, and when we do get the beta, which is actually quite soon, I think it's going to be an absolute blast. But nonetheless, guys, hopefully you did enjoy today's video. If you did, drop it a thumbs up. It would be greatly appreciated, and I will catch you all later. Globe out.
Don't fly around my signal. Don't fly around my signal. Don't fly around my signal. I'll rearrange your dinner. Could be my house, you look like the